Were you or a loved one injured as a passenger in a DUI accident? I'm going to walk you through how passenger injury claims work in DUI cases and the challenges you might face and what steps you can take to protect yourself. Hey, Brian Glass here. I became a personal injury lawyer 17 years ago, and today, having secured one of the largest DUI verdicts in the history of Virginia, I can personally tell you that most people undervalue their case, and that's exactly what insurance companies count on. If you or somebody you know has been injured or disabled and you want to speak to a lawyer that you can trust, give us a call at Ben Glass Law to schedule your free consultation. So let's start with the basics. Compensation in auto accident. If you were injured in any kind of a motor vehicle accident, you're generally entitled to seek compensation for the losses. In legal terms, those losses fall into two categories: economic and non-economic damages. Economic damages are those things that you can easily calculate, like your medical bills, your lost wages, and your ongoing treatment costs. You need an ambulance, surgery, physical therapy, time off work. All of those are real financial costs that you shouldn't have to pay out of pocket for. The non-economic damages cover things that are harder to quantify, but are still very real. These are pain and suffering, emotional distress, and the toll that the injuries took on your daily life. If you've been struggling with anxiety or PTSD, or even the inability to return back to your hobbies or your daily activities that you used to love, that's something the law takes very seriously, and especially in DUI cases. Now, DUI crashes are unique because they often involve reckless behavior, and that could potentially open the door for punitive damages, which are meant to punish the driver and send a message that drunk driving is not tolerated in Virginia. That depends on the specifics of your case, but it's something the lawyer will explore with you. Now, here's where things get tricky. Getting compensated as a passenger sounds straightforward, but DUI crashes bring some complications, especially if the driver was somebody close to you. Filing a claim against a relative or a friend can get uncomfortable. I get it. But remember, you're not going after their personal bank account. In most cases, you're filing a claim against their auto policy, and that's what insurance is for. If your injuries are serious and your medical bills are piling up, you have to think practically and not emotionally. You knew the driver was under the influence. Another challenge is if you knew the driver was under the influence before you got in the car. And in Virginia, if that's proven that you knowingly accepted a ride from somebody who is drunk, the insurance company is going to deny your claim. It might argue that you assume the risk. Now, that doesn't automatically block your case, but it does make it way harder. Along those same lines, the insurance company might ask, could the passenger have refused the ride? Were there signs the driver wasn't safe to ride with? Did the passenger have a chance to take another form of transportation, like calling an Uber or getting a ride home from somebody else? Now, if there were multiple passengers in the car, that creates a whole new layer of complexity, because there may be multiple claims competing for the same limited liability insurance policy, which means your lawyer needs to be strategic when he's negotiating your recovery. And in all of these situations, the insurance companies looking for ways to reduce liability. They may try to twist the facts, blame the passenger, or delay the process, hoping that you just give up altogether. And that's why having the right legal strategy is important. Your rights as a passenger in a DUI accident. Now let's clear something up. If you were a passenger and you were injured because of somebody else made a reckless choice, you have rights. You have the right to seek compensation, regardless of whether the driver was a friend or a family member or just a complete stranger. And just like any other crash, the at-fault party's insurance coverage is supposed to cover your losses. You may also be covered under multiple insurance policies. For example, the driver's auto insurance may apply, and if they don't have enough coverage, or any at all, you might have coverage through your own auto policy under uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage. If you live with a relative who has a policy, their coverage might also apply. In some cases, more than one policy can contribute to your recovery, but you'll never know unless you have somebody dig in and look through all the fine print for you. Because these policies are confusing, the language is dense, and the insurance company isn't going to voluntarily give you all this information. They're going to try to make it as hard as possible. They're going to hope you just don't ask the right question. And that's why it's critical to talk to somebody who knows how to interpret policies and maximize the coverage that you're owed. Why you need legal representation in this situation. If you're dealing with injuries from a DUI crash as a passenger, this is not a situation you want to navigate alone. Between insurance loopholes, emotional dynamics with the driver, and strict Virginia laws like contributory negligence, even one misstep can seriously hurt your claim. In Virginia, if you're found even 1% at fault, you may be barred from recovering anything. And that's why the insurance company might look for any reason to blame you, like saying that you should have known the driver was impaired or that you encouraged them to drive. Even if it's not true, they might try to plant doubt and avoid paying out. And having a lawyer doesn't mean that you're making things adversarial. It just means you're protecting your future. A good lawyer can investigate the crash, gather medical records, talk to witnesses, and deal with the insurance companies so that you don't have to. Don't let the fear or loyalty to the driver stop you from doing what's necessary in order to get your full recovery. You have rights and you don't have to figure this out alone. So if you were injured as a passenger in a DUI case here in Virginia and you're ready to talk with an experienced attorney who will fight to get you the compensation you deserve, call us today at Benglass Law. Consultation is free, confidential, and it could help you get the settlement that you deserve. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out our next video here.